When we consider magical spell working, we get into some realm of fantasy and mystery and so on. What I'm trying to do with my work is to demystify magic. Magic is actually commonplace. It's universal and much misunderstood. Let's begin with this idea of spell making. The idea that you can get your wand and just say, such is the case, and it immediately comes into being. That's the fantasy version that you see on Harry Potter and so on. And maybe there was a time when something very, very similar to that was the operation of reality. We're going back prehistory, of course, in books that you read, which are called channeled books. You have an explanation of the time when there was this lack of separation between who we are and the universe and all and everything, and so thought immediately created something. Now that process has not ended. It has just become very slow indeed. It's slowed down such that we cannot see the relationship between what goes on in the mind and what goes on in manifestation. But the relationship certainly exists. And when we discuss synchronicity, we think, oh wow, that's magic. And it is. And everything is operating on the basis of synchronicity. But there are some laws. And synchronicity has the law that it must make manifest that which is in the mind. That's the law of it. And yet, what we have in the mind is not clear enough to get an immediate response to our intentions. And when we talk about the mind, we're not only including the conscious mind, the one that we're aware of. There's aspects of mind which really are only accessible when you're in soul consciousness. And there's another aspect of the mind which is below the level of normal consciousness that you can tune into through the sensitivity of your awareness to your physical body primarily. So when somebody has worked on themselves to the level where they can awaken the fullness of mind, then that's greater power for the ability to manifest. The other thing that we get wrong is that we try to do two things at the same time. And we can't. We can only focus on one thing at a time. So if you actually focus on this and that at the same time, there's a very good chance that they're mutually exclusive on some level that you haven't really thought through. So our lack of clarity is another factor as to why we don't manifest things immediately. Another factor which we really do have to take into account, and which I would talk about today more, is to do with language. Words are very powerful indeed, much beyond our imagination can tell, and we use them very wrongly, very badly, generally speaking. Not much we can do to overcome that. That's given to us as children, but we can work with it to improve our languaging. So I'm going to ask you a few questions now, and I want you to just think of the answers. And on the face of it, they seem very similar. So let's just see if they are. So, in life, what do you want? Should seem a simple question. And another, what do you need? Another, what do you choose? And another, what do you desire? Now these words are very often used interchangeably when we say what it is we're trying to create in the world. But they're not the same. Need is an attitude of mind. It's a driver, it's a slave driver really. If you allow yourself to need something, then you're not free. You're subject to that need. And your need drives you, pulls you in all manner of direction. It's not okay to have need if you want to do magic. Want is an attitude of mind. I feel the lack of something. I want for something. It's not a very strong, powerful affirmation. Choice has power. Choice suggests that you have the authority to decide your own destiny and you've chosen what you want. That's strong. Desire, perhaps even stronger. This is the excitement of the soul. You desire something. There's an enthusiasm there which is greater than choice and much more positive than want or need. So just choosing what of those words you use for your spell making makes a huge difference. Because even though we say words in jest, the mind hears the words that we use and aligns its reality in conformity to those words. So it's not a good idea in any case at all ever to proclaim yourself to want something, to be in want, or to need something. It's not empowering. And it would be good for you to consider what are the similarities between what you would answer. So if you answer those questions, you might answer them exactly the same way. What I need and what I want are the same things. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But if you actually answer them and you notice the similarities between your answers and the differences between your answers as to what you desire and what you want, what you need and what you choose, just look at that exercise and you will see that there are differences written down, I'm sure. Then consider your feelings in relationship to the words. Does desire give you a different feeling to need? Does choice give you a different feeling to want? Well, I suspect it does, and if it doesn't, then I don't think you're much in touch with your feelings. It ought to. They're different things. And when you put yourself into a certain state of being by choosing the words like want and need, which is collapsing you into a sense of being in service to your need, it's not okay to practice magic. You must be in a resourceful state. Desire and choice, they're both resourceful states. So this is important. Now, what we might do at the kind of highest level of spell making is understand what affirmation is. If we go to the highest level, then we are in soul consciousness. And in soul consciousness, you simply see that whatever you choose is the case. And you affirm that. So instead of saying, oh, I wish I could have this, or I want that, or I need this, you say, as a soul, I can see that what is now presenting itself into my life is this. I affirm so. And then you put yourself in the right state of being, powerful, magical state, in which manifestation occurs rather more quickly and rather more often. Synchronicity becomes a fact of your life, an observable reality in which you live, and you trust it, you expect it. Now, we can't take this to the ultimate level because we've had childhood issues and we haven't dealt with them all, and we're in a world which does not depend upon this reality. So the idea of picking up your wand and saying, let it be so, and poof, there it is, that's not nonsense entirely, but it's fiction, it's fantasy, it's what could be the case, and perhaps once was, a long, long time ago. But right now, we know that we're increasing our chances of synchronicity, of manifestation, and of reaching the goal, which is to affirm constant realization of our desire nature. We become closer to that. It becomes more often. And that's the best we can do. And yet that's wonderful. It's okay. If you get to that level, then you'll be very happy you did.